So while we're waiting to get started, I could go over a little bit about me. My name is Meg Barbolini. I've been with Intuit since July of 2011. I started with the payments department, supporting GoPayment and our merchant services. Eventually, I moved on to QuickBooks Online, and I was a phone agent taking calls for about a year. Then there was a special project where they announced that they were looking for a few people to come and participate on the community, answering questions. I've always been a person who really loves forums. I remember looking at news groups and things online when I was 14, when we first got the internet. So I've always been somebody that cares a lot about online communities. So I was really excited for the opportunity. I started answering a lot of questions, and I made myself a goal of answering 50 posts a day, which compared to a lot of you isn't that much, but it was a lot for me. And I really, really loved jumping in with you guys. So I've been working with the community since about December 2013, and I became your moderator about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago now. So I've really loved working with the different All-Stars, getting newbies in, like Miss Andrea and Dave P., and so many of our new folks, as well as with our older folks, like our veterans, like QB Teach MT, Michelle, who's on the line with us, Rustler's another one that's been around for a long time. It's been really great getting to know you guys, and I feel really blessed that I get to work with you guys and see the kinds of stuff that you do to help others every day. So I just really appreciate the work that you all do, and I'm really happy to show you around.
Thanks.
I think I'll go ahead and get started here. If other people join us, then they can just pick right up, and like I said, I'll run a makeup session as well. So first thing about when you're joining with our community is you want to make sure that you're going to access our community via a browser rather than within the QuickBooks product, because there's a lot more features available to you if you come in via like Chrome or Firefox. You can go to community.intuit.com to get to it from a browser. Once you sign in, you'll probably be brought to a page like this. It'll either say QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop. This is my AllStar user profile, so that way then I'm showing you everything that you've got. We've got the same thing. Now, there's a lot of information available to you just from when you look at a post. When you look at a post here, I've just got one pulled up. First, you can see right at the top it shows you what product somebody's using. That's really helpful because people are sometimes using QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks Desktop, and that used to trip me up a lot when I first got started. So you want to look here to make sure that you know what product you're looking at. It also shows you whether they're on Windows or Mac, which is really great for some of us that are Mac experts, like Skinny Raven is a really good All-Star with Macs. So you can always look there to make sure that you're talking about the correct product. Our community uses what's called humanized dates, where it shows 2 hours ago, 10 days ago, rather than an actual date and time. But something that not a lot of people realize is you can hover over this and it'll show you 8:29 a.m. on June 23rd. You can get the actual time and date information. Not a lot of people realize this is here, but it's there and you can use it. It's a lot of help if you want to know that time. We have a sidebar on the right-hand side that has a lot of really good information. It says about questions, so we've got activity. It shows you when the original poster first viewed the question was 2 hours ago. It shows you the last activity on this post was an hour ago when QB Teach popped in and answered this post. And it shows that it's shown in the product, which means that this post would be shown in the QuickBooks Online product for being a good post that would help somebody. It also shows you who's following the post. You can click context here, which has so much useful information. I was so happy when we implemented this. Again, it shows you the product right here. It shows you the country where the asker is currently located. So even if, like some users that live up north, they'll be helping Canadians, but they're located physically in the U.S. So that's when you want to look at both the product and the country, because that shows you even though the person might be in the U.S., they might be using a Canadian version. So that's a big help right there. It shows you tags. We'll go over tags in a little bit. It shows you what browser the customer was using. So when I was answering questions in the community, if somebody had a really strange error that I hadn't heard of before, I might try to duplicate what the user was doing in the same browser that they were using. Something else in here that's really helpful is previously viewed by asker. Sometimes our users will post questions without a lot of context. It's hard to understand what they mean. I'll use this previously viewed by asker to see if maybe they've looked at other questions similar to their problem and see if maybe I can extrapolate from there what they're actually trying to say. It's kind of a strange trick to use, but that's something that's worked a lot for me. Do you have any questions about this About Questions sidebar or about the top of the post?
This is Michelle.
Sounds clear. I got a lot of useful information out of that.
Awesome, thanks.
I have a question. When I see someone says basically a Windows icon and or a Windows topic, but then over on the right I see they use Safari browser, do we just suspect that they're really using QuickBooks for Mac or that they're running parallels? What do I do with that conflict?
Personally, what I'll do is I'll try to use context clues, see if maybe they've revealed anything else, like maybe they'll say rather than, like maybe they'll say like a control key or the alt key, which doesn't exist on Windows or on Macs or something like that. I'll try to use context clues. Yeah, exactly. If I still can't figure it out, I might ask like a probing question in the request more details field, which you can access right there. That way then I can say, hey, are you using a Mac or are you using Windows? I noticed that it says Windows for your product, but it shows here you're using Safari. That way then the customer they'll get an email saying that you responded to them. They know to come back and let you know what they're using.
Great, thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, great. Something else that's really great and that QB Teach MT uses a lot is when you hover over someone's username, you can get a quick look into their profile. You can see if they've asked additional questions, maybe if they're answering a lot of posts. It gives you an idea about the person who's asking. Sometimes if I look at a person, I've noticed that they're asking really basic questions, then I can tailor my answer to address that they're a new user versus somebody that would have very advanced questions about like accounting or journal entries. Then I know to approach them at a more advanced level. For Lori here, I saw that she had 2 questions, so I'm wondering maybe if she's asking also about how to look for those items that are ordered. Then I click over here to Lori's profile because I clicked on her name and I opened it in a new tab. And I see here that she had asked another question 5 months ago, and it was about quotes, so that's a little bit different. So that wasn't the same kind of question, but it looks like they got the answer they needed, so I'll just leave that alone. But it does give you some more information about the person. Something else that comes up sometimes is when you see a post that would be perfect for another AllStar to answer. Like, for example, yesterday I had a post where somebody was looking for more information about VAT taxes, which is what they do in the UK. I know that our AllStar Graceman is excellent at VAT questions. He's really, really on top of that. So what you can do is you can post in either the add more details or in a comment area, you can say @Graceman and then say, hey, this would be great for you. Then when you comment on it, it will create this as a summon post, which, oops, edit, delete. That will summon
Didn't it already go, though? Deleting is so late, right?
Yep, so Graceman will see that I sent him a message, but never mind. Apparently I couldn't delete that, so. But that's what you can do. You can use that @ and then begin typing someone's name and pick them right out from the from there, and it'll bring them over to the post. It'll send them a notification. Now, the notifications button is really, really helpful for keeping track of your different posts. This is from my other main user. This is from my moderator one just because I don't have any notifications on my current one. When you have a notification, you'll see a little 1 or a 2 or whatever number of notifications appear next to this bell. You can click on it, and your newest ones will be highlighted in an orange. Oh, hi, somebody's on webcam. Hey, that's get back to business, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Great to see you.
Oh, great to see you again.
All right, so we were just going over this notifications button here in the upper right. So it'll show you the new notifications and everything that has been responded to. You can also use View All Notifications to see all of the notifications that you might have. Now, your notifications in here, they're sorted by priority, activity, and votes. I personally don't pay a ton of attention to whether it's priority or activity. Technically, priority means that the original poster has responded to your post, and where activity means that just somebody else has responded to the thread that you're following. Votes means somebody's voted up your answers. So I personally just use it like this. I just look when I get a little 1 right there, and I can see it turn yellow. It's really helpful for keeping track of what people are saying, especially if you ask them some probing questions. Now, there are a few different tools that are available to you as an AllStar that regular users don't have. One of those features is close. You can close out posts for a couple of different reasons. One reason that I might close out a post is for if it's a duplicate question. So when I hovered over Lori's name right here and I saw that she had 2 questions, and when I checked on it, if she had the same question, I would open up that question, say I've answered you over here, put a link to the post, and then close the duplicate. That way that user isn't getting multiple responses that might be confusing or otherwise tie up bandwidth in the community. It really seems to help people keep things clean. So as an AllStar, you do have the ability to close posts for being duplicate. You can also close posts if they become extremely vulgar. If you do close a post for being vulgar, I'd like you to report it to us as the moderators before you close it. You can get to these close or report options by clicking this little triangle in the upper right of the post. You can either click close and it'll close it, or you can click report. Report, you can either say spam, profanity. Spam is when someone is posting, like, say, the same post over and over again, obviously advertising for a service, trying to connect people to malicious other sites, things like that. You pretty much know spam when you see it, so just let us know when you do. We appreciate it. Profanity, people are using a lot of swear words. Threats and abuse, we obviously do not want anybody abusing others because this is a community and we're all here to help. Viruses, inappropriate, that's about the same as profanity and threats, abuse. Broken links, we definitely want to know when a link is broken so that way we can fix that. Hide from product, you probably won't want to use hide from product because that's more for Intuit internal people, so don't worry about that one. And other. Now, other doesn't give you an option to actually write anything, but if you want to report something for other, you can always email me and I'll get it and we'll be able to go over it, or you can just make a post in the lounge. We'll see it. Any questions on any of that? That was, I know that was a lot right there.
Oh, very helpful.
Awesome.
I think it helps to mention there's so many people that don't know they're using a forum. They think it's live chat. They post email addresses. They post phone numbers. They post product and license info. I swear they even post credit card info. I always flag those right away as dangerous.
That's perfect. That's exactly the right thing to do. As the moderator. Who is that?
That must have been me. This is Len, PV Suppliers.
Oh, hey, great to talk to you. I should have known with that kind of funny comment there.
Oh, Len, joke around, never.
Yeah, right? Something else that I'd like to go over is your own profile. I'll show you my profile from my other user because I have a lot more on that one. So this is my regular user. I really like my profile screen. You have a lot available to you here. First, you can see your answers count and how many helpful votes you've got, that always makes me feel good. I love seeing that I've got double the helpful votes in my answers. So you've got that. You've got all of your questions, your answers, comments, any discussions that you might have started, and any questions that you might have chosen to follow. You can follow questions just by clicking follow. It'll say follow there instead of unfollow. So that way then if there's something that you're interested in but you don't necessarily want to comment, you can follow it and keep it in here. You can edit your profile by going to your profile settings. You can either get to it from there or from that little gear on your profile. You can change your display name. You can add a title, like I've seen a lot of people use like educator or bookkeeper, different things. Job role will show on your profile. Job role and signature show on your profile, but they don't show on your posts. So if somebody goes to your profile, they can see a little bit about you. And also, if you're a Pro Advisor, I encourage you to put your profile or your Pro Advisor profile link in here, because a lot of users do find Pro Advisor help through here. And if you've got a business that might help others, you could maybe put that in your signature field or job role fields. That way then people can connect with you that way. We have a really good network with our different community users, so that could really do a lot for your business. Let's see. I'd also like to, if you don't have one already, to encourage everyone to get an avatar, because it really makes people feel good when they can see a little bit of something from your personality when you're responding. It just gives a little bit more of a community feel. People respond better when they can see who they're talking to, whether it's a explosion in the desert or a capuchin monkey.
That's not an explosion in the desert. That's a nuke over a city.
Is it? So it is.
It's hard for you to see the whole thing, but that's a nuclear explosion.
There we go.
I was having a bad day.
Nothing made me laugh more than when I saw that our new AllStar, Matthew Fulton, had stolen PV Supplier's avatar for in the lounge. That I thought was hysterical. So I thought that was great.
That bastard.
So one last thing. This is pretty good. I want to show you guys how to find posts in the community. When I look at the community and I'm landing on this page, I want to be able to find posts. You can click on this icon to be brought to our main page. This shows you your feed, which is questions where you may have responded. I have that showing right now because I had posted in that thread. You have all questions, which will show you everything. Some AllStars do this differently. I like to sort by newest. Personally, that's just what I like. I know that QB Teach and some others use latest activity because they like to see the ones that it shows you both newest and ones that people have answered recently. There's also popularity. Usually popularity will show you ones with recommended answers, a lot of views, things like that. I'm not exactly sure how popularity is defined, but it does show you what's most popular. I've been working on that, but I don't know what defines it yet. Something else that I know a lot of people use is the unanswered category, because that allows you to see what hasn't been answered yet, how many people have that question. There's usually some good stuff in here that you can find, and also no replies. That's nothing at all. Nobody's even touched these. So that's a few different options for you to sort. Now, the way that I find posts, I use a wildcard search. To run the wildcard search, you do an asterisk, a colon, and an asterisk, and then hit enter. This will show you all posts. I really like this view because this gives me more ability to filter and define things a little better. Again, you've got your sort options up here in the top, sort by newest, latest activity, and popularity. And then you've got your filters on the left. You can show all the posts from the last day, week, month, 6 months, or a year. I'll sometimes use past day if I'm looking for certain kinds of things for impact. That may not work for you. There's also post type. So question is going to be anything that a regular person has just posted. Discussion, that's for our private lounge conversations. Article. Articles are posts from actual QuickBooks help. This is from self-help. This is a work in progress, so it's not perfect. We have stuff in many languages. We have some Portuguese, some Spanish. We have all kinds of different information, but everything under article is official from Intuit. Do you have any questions on that?
And what was the wildcard search? How do we do that?
Okay, wildcard search is asterisk, colon, asterisk. I have a little bit about that in the welcome guide that I sent to you guys with your email, which I'll be posting in the lounge later for any veterans. But, yep, it's asterisk, colon, asterisk. I know it's a little different than other forms, but it will work.
Sure. Thank you.
Perfect.
I really like that the announcement acts like a sticky posting on a traditional forum where I've been using that lately because the search is disabled, and I know I can use the announcement to go to the article, to go to the help topic, and then I can copy that link into an answer.
Yep, you got it. That's perfect. Thanks for using that copy answer link. Something else that we've got over here, or did we have any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
When I've answered a question and I posted it, how do I come back into the community without having to go back and start all over again?
Okay.
It never seems to bring me back to the community once my answer has been done.
Okay. All right, bear with me for just a sec. Okay, test. This is a really old post, so hopefully nobody minds. So I said answer, and it brings me back to here. I hadn't seen this. This is nice. So then it brings me back to this post. You can either click this icon at the top, which will bring you back to this page, or you can run another wildcard search. Asterisk, colon, asterisk, enter, will bring you right back to here. Now, I have a filter on because I had clicked announcement before when Michelle was talking about it. So you can click clear all, and that will remove any filters that you've applied. You could also, if you've say you've applied a couple of them, you can just click one to remove it. We are improving our filters, so I'd like to encourage everybody who's got a lot of passion around this. There's a thread in here about...
Hey, Meg.
Yes.
Could you stop right there real quick and show the home icon? No, go back down so that you're scrolled part way. Some people don't know about that, I bet.
Yeah. This home icon will bring you to the same place as clicking on the banner will. So when you scroll, that top piece will move with you, and that piece has a home icon that you can click to be brought right back to here, which is what I consider my home page.
So on a long topic, you don't have to scroll all the way to the top to get to the green round button.
Exactly. Thank you. So I'd like to, if you have any passion around searching and filters, we have a thread in the lounge called How Do You Search and Filter Posts in Community. We have one of the Intuit designers, the community designers, actively seeking feedback in here. So you can come and join this thread and give your feedback. We'd really appreciate it. Oh, there we go. Disappear that guy. All right, so then any other questions? All right, so then we have here for other filters, we've got post state, which gives you posts that are answered, unanswered, and have a recommended answer. A recommended answer means that right now either the original poster or somebody from Intuit clicked in to recommend that answer. Looks like this one already has a recommended one. When you recommend an answer, it will stick to the top of the page and act as a, that one's not answered, and it will act as kind of the main answer for that post. You can also filter by product. We have a lot of different products available here. So if you're an expert in QuickBooks Canada or maybe QuickBooks 2014 and older, you can click into those filters and view only posts related to that. Some of our AllStars are really pros in different products, so they'll follow these searches rather than finding just all the posts. They'll just go into the product categories and search that way. There's also country filters that you can apply. So if you're UK, India, Australian, any one of those, you can click that to be brought to a place where you've got only Australian questions, for example.
That doesn't seem to have worked too well.
I'm sorry? Sometimes, yes. Sometimes it does have a problem with, because we do have we have products for QuickBooks Canada, and then we have a Canada location. So sometimes things do get crossed. It's something that we're working on very, very hard right now. That goes hand in hand with that filtering work that we're doing. I'm really sorry that it hasn't worked.
A quick thing is sometimes the problems happen when you have sorted by popularity. So I think it's a kind of best practice to avoid that one and just use either the newest or the other one.
latest activity.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it possible to set those up as like a sticky setting?
Mine defaults to whatever I use last. So mine will say newest because I usually use newest, but if you usually use latest activity, it should default to that.
I have a bookmark that just brings me to my page of topics and or the home page. I never go to the home page with the products. And part of my bookmark includes latest activity at the end of it. Hang on, let me just read that. Mine is community.intuit.com, questions, filter, all questions, sort, equal latest activity.
Yep, and see how mine says sort equals created? That's newest. And you can see, too, if you go down to, like, say, let's say UK. You can see up in the top in the URL, it says country equals UK. You can bookmark this page, and it will bring you to sort by newest with the UK filter turned on. So these are static pages with the filters applied that you can bookmark for now. Eventually, when we do have this repaired and working a little better, that may change, but for now, this should work. I know that some of our Canadian folks like to use custom URLs to access their feeds. Any other questions about this area?
Could you show me where that home key is again? My internet connection quit just when you were demonstrating it.
Oh, no problem. I'm sorry, what was it?
The home key? You said there was a home key.
Ah, that's right. Okay, so when you scroll, like say you're looking at a long thread, you scroll down, you can see the little house sitting right up at the top. That bar will scroll along with you, so if you're reading something that's very long, you don't have to like hit the home key or scroll up for a million years. You can just hit that home button and be brought right back to your main page.
Okay, perfect.
And it hangs out on every page, so you can always be brought right back here.
Thank you very much.
Of course. When you go to the home page, you can see here we have a little top contributors area where it shows you who is our top contributors this week and all time. That's determined by both helpful votes and answers. So you can view yourselves. We've got John sitting right there. We've got QB Teach at the top. We've got all time. Rustler is at top all time, but QB Teach is catching up.
Well, it used to be Ray White, or Ray, shoot. I just want to give a nod to Ray, yeah, before some issues developed. He was our all-time god.
I haven't gotten to talk much with Ray.
Yeah, he just finally showed up again. He hasn't been around for a while.
I'll have to send him an email and check in with him. Okay, so the last thing that I really needed to go over today was, let me just make sure that I've covered everything. Yep. The last thing that I wanted to go over today was this tags feature. We have a system in the community called tagging that allows you to follow kind of different subjects in the community. Not a lot of these are necessarily used. Some of them aren't really used very often, but a great one for AllStars to follow is accounting advice. Our internal agents aren't able to answer posts about accounting questions, like anything involving that we would refer somebody to an accountant to. We do not want to touch those because we don't want to give them the wrong information. When we come across a post that we're not able to answer, we'll tag it with accounting advice. That way then you can, one of the experts, you guys, can pop in and let that person know how to actually charge a property for payroll expenses, for example. This would be a great tag to follow. So that way then you can, if you want to, get emails about this tag when someone asks a question about it. Following this accounting advice is really good because we're always serving up questions into here whenever we can't answer one. When you click follow tag, you want to make sure that your notification settings are configured to email you when someone asks a question there. You can access your notification settings by clicking on your little avatar and then clicking notification settings. I've got options for notify me of items below or none. If you don't want to get any communication from us, you can do that. I have notify me as someone who replies to a post you're following. Someone asks a question on a tag you're following. That's what I was just referring to with the accounting advice. My regular user I have when someone starts a discussion turned on. I'd like to receive unanswered questions to help the community. And then also when someone mentions me, that's that little @ sign. So if you want, you can choose to be notified for all of these, none of these, or whatever combination that you like. So that way then you can manage your own preferences there. And finally, we do have an option for readability settings where we can see which one you personally like. I don't really use this very often, but I do know that some people do. So that's about all that I've got for today. And all that does is that really changes, just changes the question pages, but it's something that you can set up, and that's what we've got. Does anybody have any questions about tags or notifications?
All good for me.
Unfortunately, I had to join pretty late due to a different call. Is there any chance you recorded this?
Absolutely, Matthew. And is this Matthew?
It sure is.
Hi, I guessed it. Yes, I've recorded this session. I've got a whole one-pager of notes for all you guys, and then I'm also going to run a makeup session next week.
Wonderful.
Because Miss KH couldn't make it today, so I'm going to run one for her, and if anybody else wants to join, they can too.
Thanks.
Of course.
Yeah, this was a good review, even for us who have been along for the ride as all the forum platforms keep being changed.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the other day when we were looking at, I went onto archive.org to see what our community looked like in 2008, and I couldn't believe it. It was so different.
Oh, you bet.
You think that's funny? I literally was doing an upgrade from QuickBooks from 2007, the last day or so, and just going from year-to-year transition, looking at the software difference. Wow.
Oh, boy. I remember my dad is a contractor, runs his own business, and I remember being probably 7 or 8 years old when my mom first started with QuickBooks, and I still remember the sounds that it would make, like hearing it in the background and then hearing my mom cursing at QuickBooks because she didn't know what she was doing. So those old versions of QuickBooks are something else. And we even get questions about them sometimes. I've seen people post questions in the community about QuickBooks 3.0.
Yeah, that's where I started.
All right, so that's what I had planned for today. I don't know if anybody wants to hang out and chat, if there are more questions, if there's, I mean, this is like open forum. You can ask me whatever.
I would like to maybe make one comment into our community.
Sure.
So this is Michelle. I'm QBTMT, and I want to make sure, so some of us have been along for this ride for a while, and I want to make sure that we all know we're all peer users as well. I moderate a motorcycle forum, and one of the issues I learned out there is the 7 or 9 of us also had to recognize we're still end users as well. And I think that was the biggest issue for me when I see new AllStars is to remember we're users and we're AllStars. We still benefit from the community as well as benefit to the community. And so, Matthew, I think you were the first one that posted something in the lounge. And I said, hey, throw it out there for everybody. It's a great question.
I'm glad you brought that up. That was actually kind of a question of mine was I figured I may have missed it, so I was going to listen to the recording, is the difference of, hey, because I was hoping for specifically accountant's view and, you know, so forth, that's why I put it into the AllStar area. But you're right, it should have gone to the area where anybody could respond.
Actually, Meg, he just made a great comment. Do you have a bookmark to go to the accountant forum? These people aren't like me. I'm in the lounge and the AllStar on both forums.
Yes, we do have an accountants community. It's at accountants-community.intuit.com. I believe I am a member here, too.
Yeah, this is the kind of user Matthew might be interested in. These people over here are the Lacert and Pro Series people, and they've got the level of tools you're talking about. Now, they're not as much QuickBooks. In fact, they tease me, oh, you know, Michelle's our QuickBooks person.
Thank you. Part of the reason I was late to the call was very fortunately, asking about that project management software, I literally the next day had a company call, and they're asking for my assistance in creating one around the accounting vertical. So
great partnership.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I will be absolutely trying, it sounds like I'll have full ability to reach out to our community to get input to try to make sure that somebody who's building it starts building it for what we want.
Well, keep us all in the loop on that. I will say that I am an alpha beta tester for Intuit, and being able to participate when someone's integrating a program is the coolest thing to be able to help with.
Absolutely.
Michelle, I would love to talk to you more about that. It is a big passion of mine. I've started doing technical help for different companies, and I'd love to hear just some of your insights at a different time about that.
I have a programming background, so I'm very puzzle-oriented and very geeky.
Hey, cool.
I'd love to connect you with Rustler as well, because I know that Rustler has a lot of experience with working with programming and things like that. So maybe he might have some good insight for you too. He's not on the call, but I'll send him an email.
He's our inventory guru.
Oh yeah. Rustler knows all.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your time today. Again, I apologize for being late, but this has already been informative. I hope everybody has a good day, and I'll probably be on that makeup call as well.
Okay. I hope to see you then, and hope to see you around the community, Matthew. You have a great day. Bye. It was great to connect with you guys like this. I think that we should do this more often, just to try and see, just to see if we can connect with each other a little bit more.
Absolutely.
I am, just as a sneak peek, because we're on the voice rather than typing, I'm working with somebody from the accountants group that works with, accountants that have a lot of clients. They're working on trying to get them in to have interviews with some of our product development team, what you were just saying, Michelle. So I'm going to work with that group to see how I can get the AllStars involved with those meetings as well. So that way then you guys can get your hands even further into giving your feedback right to the people who have the ability to make changes.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that, because I'm doing my best to get you guys involved with that.
Well, I've always felt that since we're out there so often, if there's basic housekeeping or policing even, like when we got bombarded with Mumbai dancing girls, if we're out there all the time anyway, or more frequently, if we spot something right away, give us the authority to keep it from developing into an issue.
Absolutely. That's why you guys got that close option and the report option for now. I do agree that maybe in the future we can see about separating out maybe an in-between AllStar and moderator role, like how you guys used to have the co-moderators in the old community. So we do want to look into having something like that moving on. That way then you guys can remove the spam and things like that. We definitely don't want dancing girls in our community. Unless they're bringing the beer, right? It looks like, I know everyone's still here. I really do want to encourage everybody who does have like a business or a Pro Advisor profile or anything to go in and add it to their profile, because that really, a lot of people do have, they find people from that sidebar and they find help that way. It's really done a lot for some of our Pro Advisor AllStars. And I know that Big Red Consulting is one of our longtime AllStars, and he's got a website that he creates, like QuickBooks apps and different tools, and he gets a lot of customers from posting links to his own website in the community. So it's really a great way for you to boost your own business and your own network from joining.
Oh, you have to be so careful, though, because I get people that say, no, I really need your help. Intuit needs to support me. And so I have to say, I'm actually not into it. I'm just an end user. So you have to be very careful. The first time I was getting responses from people, I thought, that seems rude. And then I put it in context from their perspective. And I have gotten some clients from there. some are just one time. I've actually got quite a few pro advisors, no offense to Intuit. Pro advisors still don't really know how to use the program. So a lot of my clients are pro advisors supporting their clients. So yes, that's been beneficial, but try to be clear if you want them to contact you or not and what your relationship is with that forum.
Yeah, that's a great call out.
Anybody else?
All right, so
here?
yeah, it shows here that we do have a few people more on the line, but I think I'm going to wrap this meeting up for today because we've covered everything that I want to cover, and I think that we've had some good conversation. I'm really glad that all of you made the time to attend today. I'll send out I've got a one-pager of notes for you guys. That way then, in case there was something that you really, really liked hearing about, then we've got a few different notes for you. And feel free to email me if there's anything that you need or make a post in the lounge. I'm always there. I even check it on the weekends, but don't tell Derek that.
Oops.
Yep.
Thanks for your time today.
Thank you guys for coming. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care of that baby.
Oh, I will. Bye-bye.